Good afternoon, children. Welcome to Puremix Live, version 743-3B-ish. And today we have the great pleasure to welcome Paris Monster at Flux Studios still in New York City. Flux Studios is still in New York City. This is very important to me because I'm a fan of Paris Monster. I have gone to see Paris Monster play as much as possible in New York City. So when Josh and Jeff said, sure, we'll do the broadcast, I was extremely happy. So for those of you who don't know what the music is like, you're about to be surprised and enchanted, I'm pretty sure. So Paris Monster is Jeff Crayley on bass and assorted noises, and Josh Dion on drums, vocals, and assorted noises. All right, and here's how we're gonna do things. First, you're gonna hear the music, then we'll geek out. That's how we do. So if you wanna share the wealth, share this link so that your friends can watch Paris Monster play live. Two, stay with us because at the end we'll explain all the madness. We have Josh is gonna sing, play drums, and play synth bass and synth noises live. Jeff is gonna make his bass sound like at times a dying elephant, at times a bass. There's a modular synth running at all time. There's some hidden sequencer in that cool black and yellow suitcase over there. There's a bunch of amps everywhere. It's wild. So stay around so we can ask questions and they can both explain how they do things and how things came together and stuff like that, okay? So we haven't outfitted you with microphones yet, so we'll do that after, and we'll do a chit-chat after. I just realized that we failed miserably. So why don't we just start playing, and then I'll mix in real time on the Neve, as I usually do, and you guys are driving. And this format is odd because you play your ass off, and then at the end, nothing happens, right? Because there's no public or anything. So, so I'll start the talk back. I'll hit the talk back, and I'll be your adoring crowd of one. Okay? And then there's many people watching on the other end. Yeah, we know how that feels. Yeah, well, yeah, you can clap for yourselves. That's fine too. And I don't know what your set is, so this is no net. So we rehearsed a couple songs so I could get a balance, but it's all going to be real time. Yeah. So I don't even know when you're done playing. So you have to tell me, okay, this was it, or this is going to be the last song. Maybe give me a thing, and then just do your thing. Okay? Thanks so much for being here. I'll be on the other side of the aquarium and see you in a few minutes.
All right.
All right, give me 2 minutes to get to my station.
All righty.
Right. Don't be German, baby. You have French, not half German. All right. Are you guys here? Bananas, it's all yours. Only have the right side, guys. I think that the DI is gone.
In the darkest hour of my darkest days, I'll be wise to wake what slumbering powers and expressive ways that can shadow break, not to gather my thoughts, but to separate as are not the same. From what good what I ought, but this angered state to dull my pointed blame. Why should I hold my tongue when you never cared for me? I have been reduced to her wailing child, your response in kind, though no harm or abuse shall be reconciled, as a father blind whom the light has seduced, flattered and beguiled, cleansed and redesigned. Oh, why should I hold my tongue when you never cared for me? Not but a selfish man with an Arab dignity. All I can hope to say is you never cared for me. Selfish and unconcerned, unimpressed, never cared for me. In the darkest hour, I had on my sight, having focused the right on a man that's empowered himself, but might never see that light, or a fool or a coward to direct or bright, surely will indict. Oh, treasure, sleek and solid gold. 10 are treasured, found depressed in canyons deep. Love indeed is worth the work to me. I don't give a damn at all. I don't give a damn if all our dreams are sleeping decline. My daily trouble clear and rumble and rock to make a way to you. I don't give a damn if all your work moves are feeling in mine. Where dreams erode, a hot canyon airman blow. I'm proceeding as if you believe in this. I'm the proceeding to praise for the long haul. Declinations will be led with pick and power. I'm proceeding as if you believe in me. I don't give a damn if all our dreams are sleeping decline. My daily trouble clear and rumble and rock to make a way to you. I don't give a damn if all your work is a feeling in mine. Where dreams erode, a hot canyon air might blow. Why it is that we never kiss too long? Why it is that a stoniness might linger too? It's so remote, afraid of what air might blow. But am I gonna start to throw? And I don't give a damn at all. I don't give a damn if all our dreams are sleeping decline. canyon air might blow. That I forgot about and let go of. If it were formed from my honor, my intention to only set aside to you might grow up. Till we had talked and be yelled down to a whisper that you had thought about until you spoke up. All of these things, all of these things. I know it will take all your might, but baby, try to separate your heart from mine. We're losing sight of what's important. All of these things that were so important were only in the way they were for so long. Of what was true and what I knew would hurt you more than you anticipated in the more than I wanted. More.
Bananas. Woo! Indeed.
Oh, Lord.
They are lying intentionally. They are lying intentionally. 11096. They are lying intentionally. They are lying intentionally accurate. 11096 in the modern usage. Information, profound, no real system, may or may not. 89. In it, they are lying intention. Over the hill. Over the hill. Because in our society. 89. 89. I've examined. 1096 may or may not. This has been announced that they are live. No real system.
It's too much in the pieces, the separate lives. Beyond guilt is the glimpse of the balance, the whole implied demon call his soul. It's too high, I can dance and the demon, I doubt it, child. Up stone, go stone, I added so high, she climbed, clutched and trembled. Demon alone, really wide armed and fully braced. Breaking the stone, time is up, jump, I'm fully braced. Oh, went to crazy wrong. Oh, they require you calm, collected, resilient, strong. Oh, they would break for long, said the demon. I don't see no need to heal.
Fantastic. So good.
Look at the picture of it. So good.
It's about to be hopeless. Oh no, I believe we're losing him now, son. If we want to get through this mess, with all your heart believing, try to speak loud, son. But the only thing he'll reply is, oh no, ain't no moving me, no, son. Oh no, oh no, oh no, ain't no moving me, no, son. What you tried to use for so long, oh no, there ain't no flinch in his eyes, son. just gone to the streets, home base and I'll be off. Slowly aching, living languid and pleased, for hungry and she will be raw. On the Lucia, displayed enticingly before me. On the Lucia, dawning almond trees, bitter fruit, bear of fruit. Throw me, roll me, like an orange on peel. Impress on me, pull me round. For me only, the succulency. There's pleasure in these tired towns. On the Lucia, sprawling slovenly before me. On the Lucia, pause imploringly, shall I do? Yes, I'll do. The longest love but a lifetime can keep. And if she's sour taste, though what else will I do? What am I gonna do? We're on the Lucia, displayed enticingly before me. On the Lucia, darling calling me, bear of fruit, bear of fruit.
information. They are live potentially. Entry 89. Furthermore, I
Spend all this time on something without breaking the punch. But know what the reason and the vision drawn up right. If not lyrically written with care and precision, then it won't take off the flight. Oh, the vision complete with nothing in the distance. I had my share, never a one that get anyone unlatched. Open and bare to see what I've seen, what it says of me. Then I might be an accident, I'm tough, getting fat and deserve it. At the end of the day, over dinner in the face, I was searching. Then I once said me covered and I never found the time to preserve it. It's all on me, she felt to me especially, yeah. I'm a lucky man with a page to run beside me. The layer mirror such a pretty song to make it pretty, never know what I might say. I'm not around to please my family. The women behind me still. Well, it's with you when we say it. I'm not alright and I feed my family. And I'm changing in the morning, I know this. She's slave to the day, and the dinner that she laid was ambitious. But the roast that we played wasn't really either dick, and I've been bold enough to say, you're not a cook and please our family. And I might be an ass, but I'm messing up to act like a wise one. And I might like a wit, but I'm up enough to finish up the tray for. us, and so I should be thankful for the life that lies ahead and be it understood that I have everything, well, everything's been letting me down. You say in love we tend to hide, we lose ourselves, we die inside. Devotion takes the place of self-reliance, soon we'll follow pride. And that is why I cannot listen to you, grandma, not now. I never lost myself at all. I may have slipped, I didn't fall. I never did, I didn't die. My pride's intact, I'm standing tall. I gave her everything till everything was letting her down. I don't know if she understands or ever will, but I know that we're better off and better still. Oh, I hear that she's laughing more than she had been, so I know that her bitter heart is sweet again. Oh, man, put your mind at rest. My worry lies with her. Investing all she had in someone so alone is not the healthiest. Not that I grew, not that I thrived beside a woman so sour. Oh, I had more to give, I know. I guess I just assumed she loved with certain expectations, giving life and flung me to and fro. And it was all I could do to stop her, shut it right down. Oh, this ain't, I should have told her, I confess. Your bitter heart is such a mess, and every little drop of blood and ounce of love upon the stress. She never mentioned I was something that was weighing her down. Oh, now, I don't know if she understands or ever will, but I know that we're better off and better still. Oh, I hear that she's laughing more than she had been, so I know that her bitter heart is sweet again. Oh, yeah, now. Oh, now sweet again. Oh, no. There it is. How
Well, that
long
was
Whew.
absolutely fabulous in each and everywhere.
That's long enough. I think that's long enough.
Yeah, I think that's good. Coming in. Whew. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing.
That is insane.
Wow.
Wow,
Good Lord.
indeed. And all those things.
Hi.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
That was
Thanks
so
for
beautiful.
having us. That was man, that felt amazing. It sounded amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. It feels great, and it feels great on the other side too. I was reading a little bit of the comments and people on the broadcast, and
Oh, cool.
everybody was trying to figure out
Why are they doing this?
what is this,
Why are they doing
which is why I wanted you guys to come here so that everybody can hear something they haven't heard before,
Yeah.
which is hard enough
Yeah.
because there's so much filtering of music that the freedom that you guys bring is so refreshing and beautiful, which is why I go see you every time you play that I'm in town. So this is beautiful, absolutely awesome. So let's go. So how does this come together? How did you guys start Paris Monster?
Okay. Well, we were both in other bands, and we needed a big change. And I've always played some keyboards, and we just kind of started jamming out. I mean, Jeff started getting into sounds and modulars, and Jeff is a brilliant lyricist, and we're both songwriters, and I've always kind of dabbled in doing all this stuff, and it just kind of came together slowly. We started getting together and doing stuff, and it just every year it became a little more, and now it is what it is. I mean, it's like it took us a long time to hone in on the individual sounds, but yeah, I mean,
It was very incremental. It was a lot of Josh is interested in doing this, then maybe I should be flexible enough that I can do this, serve this other purpose.
Yeah.
And back and forth, and over time that became this setup where we can kind of pass the baton a lot in terms of who's doing what.
And it's crazy because I've always been like, in terms of keyboard playing, like really more of like a funk, rhythmic, and that's just my dream to play that kind of stuff. And like, well, why can't you do that? And no one has, been more supportive than Jeff. And like, so he's like, oh, he even had this keyboard actually, and that was how I got into this particular sound. But just and it's like the modular. He started getting into that, and
It's wild.
I don't know. And Jeff's always always had an interesting style, even just playing bass. Like oftentimes reminds me of a guitar player anyway. And he's explored all the different colors he can, and he's so focused with everything. And I kind of gets everything going on.
From on the other side of the console, it's every second there's a sound that comes out that you don't know where it comes from. I mean, obviously your voice. Okay, bass drum, I can pinpoint that one pretty rapidly. The snare drum also kind of like, that's a cue. Everything else could be coming either from the bass or from your synth or from the modular doing his thing by itself.
Right.
And it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I actually missed, on that last song, I missed the first like 3 beats or 4 beats of when you took the lead on the bass. I missed it because I was like, who's playing that?
Who's playing that? Yeah.
So, and then I heard the songs before, but I wasn't analytical.
Yeah.
I was just chilling, having a glass of wine, and listening to you guys. I was never in charge of making sure that everybody hears everything, which is intense.
It
so,
is. Yeah. So especially since we don't have a sound guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
have to get that one.
well, that's somebody who's going to keep busy for a while.
Yeah.
So let's geek out a little bit. So there's a music side of the geek out, and then there's a super ultra geek out side of the geek out.
Okay.
So let's start with the music side. So let's start over there. So you have one of Dave Smith's boxes.
Dave Smith Mofo.
It's a Mofo.
Yeah, monophonic.
Yeah.
The only time I can get the chords is when I use the delay. It's not really chords, but I can get the flourishes when I do the upper register stuff, which I'm just starting to delve into. This little memory toy.
So how does it sound like? Can you just play a little bit? I think.
The flourish thing? Yeah.
Yeah, do your thing.
Well, this sound is a sound I've been trying to work with, because.
Hello there. Since we are getting to you via the internet, which is essentially broken by design, it broke again, and we're back. And so at the point where we got really interrupted by the aforementioned internet, I was telling you that the Loudon Clarion that was on the MPEG, that the Mofo is connected to, is going through the console because every preamp used today is on the console, which is a bunch of 33 series, Neves, Class A, B, discrete. They're lovely. So that's where we were. Let's get back. And then we had a really nice chat, which I'm fill you in later while you were waiting. What else are we going to do geek out? Let's talk about drums.
Okay.
So on drums, So that's your set that you brought, and the set has 2 full heads and no holes.
No holes, yeah, which is a pain in the ass, but
Yeah.
But man, it's the only way I can have the kick drum be kind of a part of the whole drum. Now I'm going for a very like shoddy garage kind of sound, but like a jazz John Bonham kind of who never quite had enough lessons or something. And
Yeah.
it's like, and to get that.
You might have just described yourself very accurately.
Yeah. But I want this. Sometimes I tune the tom up like a jazz tom, but then today it felt like really gurgly, like, you know. And so I mean, it's like it can vary, and I'm willing to work with people, but more often than not, it's this kind of thing. The bigger the stage you get, the harder it can be.
Well, it's just the physics.
Yeah.
You know, the whole physics thing that get in the way of life. The 2-head thing for if you're on a big stage, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
So maybe for me, I never change the musician's vision. If somebody comes to me with a bass that has 1 string and it's the high string, and that's how they want to play bass, and that's the sound of the band, I find a way, right? So I saw. Don't you even think about it.
I was okay.
So when you came in and I saw your bass drum, and I was like, oh, no.
Right? No. Yeah. Well, you can do the batter. Oh, you did this. This
Yeah,
one is good.
I did this. Actually, you know what? I was with Joel yesterday with Studio G with Joel yesterday, and I saw him do that, which I had never done before. And then I come in and I see, and I liked what it was doing on his drum set.
It's like stacks almost. Or something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I've done other ways to do that, but I've never done an Omni there. This is an Omni mic. Okay. And I was like, so we put the sub kick, and then this was supposed to be a room mic. This line was for a room mic. Okay. And then I saw your bass drum, and that's a 20 with 2 full heads. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to get what I need out of that.
Right.
So I put the sub kick so I could get some boom.
Okay.
So the sub kick gets the part. And then at first I had a D112 in the front, and it sounded genuinely offensive. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to get the point. So I got a hypercardio, which is a 441, a Sennheiser. And then I mixed the room mic, took the room mic line, and I said, let's see Joel's trick, see how it sounds, and put it there, and it sounds great. So this gives me a lot of points.
I love this.
Yeah. And this, that gives me a lot of point and a lot of mess too. It's Omni.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything. And this goes boom, and this goes puck, puck, puck. And the 3 of them came out pretty nice.
Yeah.
On the snare, what's that snare?
This is a snare I made in Japan with Yamaha years ago.
Okay.
You know, it's really, I don't know what it is. It's just wood, and it's really it has a very thick ply.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tune it up sometimes. I put the iPhone on it for dampening, but I like the splat most of the time. It's not really splat. Because I hit it so hard. You know what I'm talking about. Get that kind of sound.
How much do you feel your iPhone loves this?
My what?
Your iPhone, do you think it's happy with it? You know, it's being beat on for...
It's been fine for years. So.
Okay, great.
And it sounds better with it on.
Yeah.
I actually had some producers I was working with, and they'd be like, was that take with or without the iPhone? Yeah, I mean,
funny.
it's a thing. Then you can sometimes I get tempos from the iPhone or, you know, answer messages.
That's cool.
And
it's practical.
And
Saves time.
Yeah, exactly. And the hi-hats, because I'm doing so much stuff, like they're bigger, so I can do the flange, you know. So do that, and then
But they actually crash cymbals.
they're actually crash cymbals.
Yeah, it's 2 crash cymbals.
And I like larger hi-hats anyway. Like even if I was just playing drums, it would be more. I'm going for more of a rootsy sound, like a larger. And I have less stuff, so I figure out the bigger stuff I have is, you know, I don't know. It's
Cool.
just going for
So I
this.
put an SM57 on the hi-hats
Oh,
because it's just, it sounds dirty by default. So I
Good.
thought that
Oh,
would be
that's
perfect for
good.
you. And then on the snare, I have a pair of these new microphones that came out a few months ago by Lawton. They're super affordable. You can get a pair for like $100, a couple $100, and they sound great on hi-hat. There's no EQ on snare. There's no EQ on the snare right now. It's just thing. But for someone like you need to have the pads, otherwise they distort. Because you hit pretty hard. So yeah, you do. News flash. Yeah, you tend to hit pretty hard. So the snare sound is basically flat. There is no EQ. There is nothing, and it sounds fierce. And that's about it. And then I have a pair of the Loudons Atlantis on overheads, and all this is going straight to the console. I'll show you what I do post in the console right after that, and that's it. And then so then, hi Jeff,
Hello.
how's life?
Going.
Wow, yeah, this is
Yeah.
that was easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm easy. Wait, I'll make it more
No,
difficult.
I'm saying that this end is easy.
Yeah. Okay. So the modular comes out mono,
Yep.
and everything's mono, which was a challenge for me.
Everything in the band is mono.
I know.
It's actually something we've thought about too. That having all the voices monophonic it'll kind of prevent us from trying to be more than we are, because it's just two of us, obviously,
Yeah.
and we're trying to do a lot and be a full sound. But for a while, Josh had a polyphonic keyboard, and there was something about that where it was like, okay, now we're trying to be more than we are. But with if everything is monophonic, for some reason it seems not like we're trying to extend ourselves.
You have
We may have a polyphonic keyboard in the future.
yeah. You have nothing to worry about as far as thickness of the sound.
Okay,
It's
good.
not. It's you're nowhere near it becoming a problem anytime in this century. You get ways to go.
96 tracks.
So unbelievably thick, it's ridiculous. So you have this monophonic
Yep.
and mono, not like mono synth going through this amp. We run it through the amp, the acoustic amp, and I put a Bayer M88 in front of it, and I also have a DI. And what I did here is for me to have some width, because you guys are this is like a very live setup, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's all about energy in the front. And so for it to translate on somebody's headphones and stuff like that, I needed some width. So I added those guys, even though you only have one cymbal. This provided a little bit of width.
Okay.
And I took the DI and I took the amp and I spread them in stereo.
Oh, cool.
And it doesn't sound stereo, but it
Yeah,
sounds a little wide because of the phase difference between the direct output and the thing going through copper and through the console.
Very cool.
So that's a nice sound. You'll see. I'll play it for you in a second. You're gonna get to hear yourselves
Awesome.
if you feel like it. So that's the monophonic. So is it always wired this way and that's the sound? Because it has no presets.
Why don't
Right.
you show them the different?
Yeah, I mean,
How do you do it?
for our live thing, it's pretty much six patches that are pretty much the same every time, but they have some flexibility. So this one. Let me get up a faster tempo for fun. There we go. This is kind of the most percussive patch and the most frequently used.
Hold on one second. Exactly. You play it and then we speak because there's a ducker so that
gotcha.
the
Okay.
microphones
Cool,
don't
yeah,
go through.
So here's this sound.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty much going all the time on every song, and pretty much.
Yeah.
And it at times functions as the hi-hat,
Uh-huh.
and it frees up Josh so he can kind of treat the hi-hat more just as like a sound effect and like a
Yeah.
flange,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
Almost never playing with the stick. It's a pretty flexible sound. It can be pitched or it can be kind of more industrial and more pitchless. Let me show you that. And so on.
And so during the set, you'll go and play with the settings.
Yeah. Between tunes,
Yeah.
sometimes during the tunes, depending on what I'm doing here.
Cool. What else you got?
What's that?
What else you
What's
got?
like? Okay, very simple, kind of funky sound. We call it Ernie
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah. It's kind of like a rhythm guitar or something like it.
Yep.
One note.
It's kind of like a rhythm guitar. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Great. What else?
Oh, we didn't show them the low one too.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of just a white noise-ish kind of thing. Also, like a hi-hat a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
That's kind of what that does.
And so the sequence is coming from.
Oh yeah, up here there's a Korg Beat Lab metronome.
Metronome.
Just a metronome.
That's sending a click to the
Yep.
sequencers in here.
Exactly.
And where's your sequencer? Who's sending the pulses?
So this is sending. There's an envelope follower following this and sending out a gate signal
Yeah.
that I'm dividing and multiplying for clock divisions.
There you go.
Yeah. So
You have the clock divider right here.
yep. Okay. Yep. Those are made by the company 4MS.
Yeah.
Um,
On the geek scale,
This is pretty.
we left the scale in the dirt like
Right.
while back. This is just genuinely
This is
wonderful.
where some people are really psyched.
Yeah,
we
and
want
some
to get
people
some
just
people
went to
are
get some
just-
coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Cool.
I
Yeah.
might go do
So
that.
and then the 16th notes from that are going to the make noise music woggle bug, which is kind of the brains of the whole thing, sending out random voltages that are in time with the metronome.
Great.
Josh has the metronome in his ears. We just split it out of this. It's kind of very old school clocking.
Yeah.
No MIDI.
No
just
MIDI.
an envelope
Whole CV.
follower.
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong as long as you don't run out of batteries.
Exactly. And so what we did here is we took
we have.
the click. Never run out of batteries.
Yeah.
We took the click out of the metronome and we sent that to a preamp on the console, which went into Pro Tools, and then we ran it as one of the channels on the new Hear Back Pro system that we just got. Which you can see one here too. And so we were able to take a feed from Jeff's metronome and put it as one of the lines on the Hear Back Pro. And the entire cue was based, that's the only thing that came out digital. We're feeding the Hear Back Pro digital. So the cues for them to be able to make their own mix came straight from the Pro Tools inputs, not from the mix. So I was able to give them drums, bass, basically every single instrument separately for them to do their own mix so that I don't have to. It's out of pure laziness, let's be real. Okay, and the click too. So
Okay,
that
we're halfway done.
bananas, keep going. I'm like,
So, okay,
you're here all day, baby.
The fourth thing is kind of it's a variation on the first patch. It's kind of just a scrunkier 30-second note version of it. That one's pretty fun. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
like that one. Okay, the fifth one is some samples of a voice from one of our favorite radio DJs in New York City. Where is he?
A little bit more music than in fact is alive. Over the hill, 89.
Yeah. Okay. So that's actually samples on a little SD card, mini SD card in a new module by Tip Top Audio.
Okay, so that's a sampler.
Yep.
Great.
And then the last one is it's the part of the synthesizer that can function as the bass.
Yep.
When the synth bass or the bass isn't enough, you know.
Right?
Yeah. That's the patch that live, when it's not cranking through the subwoofers, we're really, really disappointed.
Right.
Yeah.
I made it loud.
But but when it is through,
Yeah.
it's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
So
That's going through. Basically, that patch is why I have the Moog.
the Moog.
Moog Mother 32 just for the filter, because that sounds amazing.
That's the sound. So here's a question. You can change the tempo, but you can't change the key.
I can.
How?
That was a leading question.
Yeah,
the Keith
I do those. I do those.
Yeah.
I like to pretend I don't know.
The Keith McMillan Q Nexus. which
Can you guys
has-
show the inside of the case? Okay.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
You have zoomers.
Yes.
on that. Okay, cool. It has CV out,
Yes.
which is kind of amazing for something that small and that affordable.
Yep.
So,
And so you pick the key of the song, and it sends CV.
yep.
There you go.
And there's
That's how it's done.
Yeah, and there's a couple songs that we did today that I'm changing the pitch on this. And doing the upper register stuff on the bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Smart. Right.
and
So
and
then
yeah, okay, so
and then
the
this
bass,
crazy bass rig.
it
What's the
how
bass?
does it work? It's an old Fender jazz bass. That's the most normal thing in the band. So it can be a bass, which you know what that sounds like. And then I have a few fuzz pedals, distortion pedals. This one, Prunes and Custard, is kind of almost always on in this band. Kind of a filtery,
Yep.
intermodulating distortion.
Love it.
New Zealand.
Yep, made in New Zealand. A Sans Amp VT bass, which is just imitating the amp that I'm using.
Yep.
Which is pretty stupid. But, then a Devi Ever bit.
What the hell is that?
I'm going to turn on both because it compresses the bit a bit, so it's not so loud. Which is still loud. It's like an 8-bit distortion. Yeah. Pretty awesome.
That is really fierce.
Then just the Red Panda Particle, which does some crazy things like that. Kind of alien sounds. A Maleco Echo 616 analog delay, which is just a delay pedal. Pretty dark sounding.
And then the
I have a
Eventide.
couple of those.
Yeah.
And then the Eventide, which does the pitch shifting. Which can it's a delayed signal, so it means I can play before the downbeat of chord, so that I can then change the bass. You know.
Crazy, man.
And so on.
That is fierce.
So.
That's beautiful. So that is the setup that is.
Yeah.
Great.
And the high, another thing that's important about the high thing for this is that it can blend to the low sound kind of seamlessly. So it can be. When we need to pass the baton and take over
Right.
one each other's.
The amount of mind share that's required and the presence of spirit that's required to manage these 8-10 machines and to blend them at all times while playing, while managing whatever went wrong because of whatever happened on stage is mind-boggling.
Nothing ever goes wrong.
I think I was sitting next to. Okay, when we first started the band. Yeah, exactly, right.
No, it does.
No, there's that thing though, because remember when I was at Rockwood and I was sitting at the bar and with the cat we had just met, and I explained the band to him, and he goes, "Sounds like a lot could go wrong." That was like right before we started our journey, and I was like, "I love this guy. That's going to be our motto." Looks like a lot could go wrong.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't become sounds like a lot has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine.
I like it being wild. You know, it's like you said. I mean, I'll get off from the click during a show sometimes and be like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
I
maybe
just,
he cares.
Yeah, he definitely does.
This is, it just feels, first, there's no feel that there's a click. It
Yeah.
feels completely organic.
That's what we're happy about.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
thank you.
And second, it feels like one gigantic evolving wave of sound, with no limitations and no boundaries, which is beautiful, which is what I like about it. And also, while it pays homage to a lot of different kinds of music, the way you sing, the way you play, you know, the raw bass sound, then you add the distortion, all these borrow from different things. You cannot put any label on it. And that's rare enough that I think it's very important to note that first is ballsy and crucial that you guys just keep doing mad stuff like this to inspire people to just stop doing the same thing over and over again,
Cool, thank you.
which is what makes me happy.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful thing. I'm so happy you guys came and played for us. It's exceptional.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm
Thank you.
gonna go
Yeah.
in the control room and
Can we hear the mofo one more time?
Yeah.
That's right when it cut out.
oh.
Yep.
So once we hear the mofo, I'm going to go in the control room, and you're welcome to come, but it's going to get on the geek scale. The scale is like in the past at this point because
Yeah.
we're going to geek out another level.
Even
but
more, okay.
if you want to see what I did to get your tones,
Absolutely.
then I'll play you a couple tracks or whatever
Very
you
cool.
want.
What part of the mofo? The high thing again?
Yeah.
Again.
Anything.
Okay. So yeah, so this I was just showing that trying to with a monophonic thing, trying to get. You know that. But I love this sound because I can also go. So that was one sound I was working with today. Just a delay pedal, and then of course I've got the regular synth bass sound that I'm continuing to to learn. And I like to have a lot of my sounds be touch sensitive so I can, you know, like do, and just kind of like, so I can, you know, do as much as possible with one hand, basically. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty pure over here in this region. I mean, I've just been starting to develop the feedback thing with the memory toy and working on upper register stuff, but usually just shredding synth bass. I'm kind of like the earth and he's like the atmosphere.
And so when did it dawn on you that you would, because are you primarily a drummer? Are you primarily a singer?
I am born a drummer
Yeah.
who found out he was a singer and who always played some piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when did you start doing the mad, like, full-on thing?
I mean, I probably like 2009 or something like that, starting to mess around. There's some hilarious videos of us online in the early days if you want to hear some like jamming kind of stuff.
Yeah. If you need to hear that, where he has like several keyboards.
I'm like taking solos and shit. It's like
I had like a table of pedals that I then realized, oh, I'm trying to make a modular synth out of pedals. Maybe I should get a
Modular
synth.
synth.
yeah.
That's crazy. And so it just naturally you were like playing drums and then you said, I'm going to play bass too.
Well, the bass. Remember, at first I was trying to play everything, and then it became bass, and I realized like all the funk stuff I had listened to, you know. You know, whatever they do. You know, like all that. Even that, I mean, I don't care. I just like, that's my dream.
Okay.
It's like, it's just doing that kind of stuff. So,
Okay. And
so I started to work on it, and you know,
And there's a lot of that stuff that has synth bass and real bass interacting, and
yeah, we started checking like D Train and Lakeside and all those funk bands.
Yeah.
Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Isley
Yeah.
Brothers are a big
Yeah.
influence on us, and among like 10 million other things.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is great. So I'm going to go describe the console setup. And then after that, I'll play you some music.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank
You're
you.
welcome to join, or you're welcome to go have more of that fantastic coffee.
Ooh. Well,
All right. Come here often. All right, so let's see what we have in here. It's good old trusted early 70s Neve. And as I said before, everything is actually going through the Neve. There is no external pre's this time. And the first 24, so there's 3 buckets here of 12 each. Consequently, the first 2 are 24. And these are mic pre's. Just imagine this is a bunch of mic pre's. And these are returns. Right here, the next 12 channels. So the way I set this up with the help of Josh over here, hi Josh, is that basically you see kick out, snare. That's the talkback because our talkback broke in the middle of the live setup, which is always a lot of fun. Snare bottom, hat, the 2 overheads, the rack tom. So this bucket is just for drums, and this is the balance going into Pro Tools. And I'm using the built-in pre's and almost no EQ, very little EQ. There's a fairly fierce high pass on the 441 for the, for the point, and the sub is lean. The 120s, no EQ. There's just a flip phase on the bottom snare drum so that they're in phase, And then there's a high pass on the 57 for the hi-hat, and that's it. Everything else is flat. So there's no EQ. So the top of the snare that everybody has been asking me, how do you get that snare sound? I just put the microphone in front of the snare, and that's how it happened. So there's no EQ there. Then there's the DI and the amp for every one of the electronic sources. So the DI and the amp for Josh's synth, the Mofo, the DI and the amp for the bass. When I say amp, of course, it's the microphone that's in front of the amp. And for example, on the bass, it was an RE20. And then the DI there was the red?
The retrospect.
Retrospect. And the other DIs are just passive DIs, whirlwinds or like off-the-shelf simple DIs. And then the synth, that's where I did the trick, the modular synth. I tricked it, and I used the DI on the left and the amp on the right, as I said earlier. And I played with the EQ to create a little more phase distortion so that you feel a sense of width. And then this is the Omni, sorry, the Omni microphone that's in front of the kit, in front of Josh's knee. And that gives a lot of point. It's really quite nice. And then the SM7. A lot of people ask me, apparently on the broadcast and privately on my phone, what did I put on the vocal? Nothing. It's just going flat-throated preamp. I'm high passing at 82. There's no EQ. There's like 1 dB at 10K. That's it. Because the SM7, you know, is like a 58, and it could be a little dark. Although Josh projects a lot, so I didn't have too much of a problem. And that's all. There's that, and there's an LA3 inserted, and there was about 2 or 3 dBs of gain reduction on the vocal. That's it. And then on the bass, we had an LA2 with like 3 to 4 dBs of reduction, depending on how insanely loud you hit it or not. And then there was no other compression on the other instruments. So all this is my returns. The only effects we had were this space echo as a short delay that I use on the vocal, and then the Precasti M7. What was the patch? I didn't even know what you chose. A plate that I use, and because there was the SM7 was in the. Thank you so much. Because the SM7 was a Josh's voice was right in the nexus of everything loud. I didn't really have, if I put reverb on the vocal, I put reverb on everything. So you see here, I have a little bit of reverb on the vocal, and I have a little bit of delay on the vocal. That's about it. I was ready to put some on the drums if I wanted to have continuity or a little more reverb on the drums on some of the trippy songs, but I used very little. And that's that. So just 1 echo and 1 reverb on a 2-second plate, and that's it. That's all we used. And then as far as the power compression and stuff like that is really minimal. I have the 1178, which is a stereo 1176-ish kind of thing. That's kind of like a rear bus thing. And that only the synths and the vocal go in it. That's it, just the synths and the vocal, not the bass, not the drums. And then on the whole mix, I have a little bit of SSL compression, like 3-4 dBs, and then I'm adding a little bit of 15K with the stereo Neves here. And that's it. For the parallel compression on the drums, I couldn't use much of it because it made everything messier because of everything being live so loud. But I still have a little bit of distressor on the kick and the snare in parallel. There's no compression on the direct microphones, 0. It's all parallel. And then on the whole kit, using a bus, I actually hit those DBX 160s a little bit, but maybe it's a couple dBs. So there's not much compression. Everything is in the tones of the two musicians making their sound that way. And I just had to provide a little bit of density behind to match the energy from them. Otherwise, it would never have sounded that way. This was one of the challenging ones because I didn't know the music ahead of time. And when you don't know the music, if the music is very linear, it's all good. But if you don't know the music is crazy like this, and then you have to be really focused on making sure that you have enough control to be able to balance whatever is thrown at you. So you can't have too much parallel compression because that stuff complicates sourcing where the problems are. So I don't know how, I know how it sounded. I don't know how it sounded across the internet. But I know that here, if I were making a record, I probably would have made it sound a little thicker in the low mids. But to do that, I would have had to add more compression, and I didn't want to do that, so I could react to whatever was going in real time, so I could pinpoint whatever the problem was immediately, not try to figure out, okay, so this goes into this, which goes into that, then that's fed into this, and it goes into that, and into this. Consequently, the problem may be any of those 5 points. Can't do that. So I had to create the sound straight at the source by choosing the right mic and being sure that everything is as pure as possible. So that's about, I think that's about it. Josh, am I forgetting something?
No, I think you hit everything.
That's it, right? Yeah, that's it. It's not a lot of lines. We had 20 lines on the way in. They're just really intense lines. And the way I mixed it was very simple. Is I just get my fingers on this,